Momo Challenge. Momo is an internet legend that gained worldwide attention around 2018. The story claimed that a user named Momo contacted children and teens through social media or messaging apps. Momo is represented by a disturbing image of a bird-like face, with bulging eyes and a twisted smile. The legend said Momo would send children a series of tasks, starting with small actions and escalating to dangerous challenges, including self-harm or even taking their own lives. This story spread quickly through social media and news outlets, creating widespread panic. Authorities and educators investigated the claims. They found no verified evidence that anyone had been harmed by Momo. Most reports were based on rumors, unverified social media posts, and distorted stories. Fact-checkers and law enforcement confirmed that no incidents could be directly linked to Momo, and it was largely a hoax. Momo highlights how modern digital culture allows urban legends to spread quickly and how fear can become a social phenomenon. Choking Doberman began spreading widely in the late 20th century. The story often starts with a woman returning home and discovering that her Doberman is choking or struggling to breathe. Concerned for her pet's life, she rushes the dog to a veterinarian. She leaves the animal in the care of the medical staff and returns to her house. A short time later, the phone rings. The veterinarian urgently tells her to leave the house immediately and call the police. The woman later learns that the dog had swallowed human fingers, meaning the animal had fought with an intruder who was hiding inside her home, possibly waiting for a moment to attack. Researchers often find no record that matches all the specific details of the tale, which suggests that this legend functions more as a modern cautionary narrative than a true crime report. Kidney heist. The kidney heist is a widely circulated urban legend about organ theft that became especially well known on the internet in the 1990s. The story usually begins with a person meeting an attractive stranger in a bar, hotel, or nightclub. The stranger befriends the target, who is then offered a ride or invited back to a private location. Once the victim is alone, they are drugged, and the next moment they awaken in a bathtub filled with ice. The victim discovers that a surgical wound has been made and that one kidney has been removed. Some versions claim the organ is intended for sale in the black market. Variations of the legend differ in details. Some stories include a team of medical professionals who assist the criminals. Other versions describe counterfeit or mobile medical equipment, showing a surprisingly sophisticated criminal operation. The victim is often left with minimal memory of the event, and the attackers vanish without a trace. Investigative reporting consistently shows that there is no verified case matching the full details of this story. Experts point out that successful organ removal for transplantation requires careful medical conditions, laboratory testing, blood type matching, and specialized equipment. Removing a kidney in a hotel or apartment is not feasible, which demonstrates that the story is implausible as a literal event. Resurrection Mary centers around Chicago and the stretch of a roadway along Archer Avenue near Resurrection Cemetery. The story introduces a young woman with blonde hair wearing a white party dress, walking alone at night. Drivers claim she appeared to be in distress, so they stopped to offer a ride. Witnesses describe her as quiet, polite, and soft-spoken. She gives only short answers and often requests to be taken to a specific address or to the gates of Resurrection Cemetery. According to many of these stories, as the car approaches the cemetery, the young woman disappears from the vehicle without the door opening and without anyone seeing her walk away. The legend also includes a backstory. Many versions say Mary had spent the night dancing at the nearby Willowbrook Ballroom, a popular historic ballroom that once attracted thousands. After an argument or a disagreement with a date or companion, she reportedly left on foot and was struck and killed by a passing vehicle during the 1930s. Her sudden death created sympathy and an eerie mystery that fueled retellings. Bunnyman legend is a well-known urban story from the Virginia and Washington, D.C. area. This tale concerns a mysterious figure dressed in a full rabbit costume who is said to stalk or attack people near an isolated train overpass. The location often mentioned is Colchester Overpass in Fairfax County. The story took root during the early 1970s when local newspapers reported two real incidents where a person wearing a rabbit outfit was seen acting aggressively. In one account, he yelled at a couple sitting in a parked car and reportedly threw a large object through a window. In another report, a man in rabbit attire damaged property and disappeared before police arrived. These two documented events inspired a much larger wave of rumor over the years. Storytellers added details that made the Bunnyman appear far more threatening. Some versions describe him carrying an axe and chasing trespassers near the overpass at night. Others claimed he was an escaped psychiatric patient. Later editions introduced ideas of ghostly appearances on Halloween, or stories of violent attacks that left no evidence behind. The more the tale spread among teenagers, the more sensational it became. Sewer alligators, the legend of alligators living beneath New York City. People once bought baby alligators as pets and then disposed of them by flushing them down toilets when the animals became too large to manage. According to the tale, these alligators survived the journey into the sewer system, fed on rats and waste, adapted to darkness, and multiplied into a hidden population. Some versions tell of sewer workers who encountered large reptiles in the tunnels. Historical investigation shows a blend of imagination and occasional facts. In the early 20th century, newspapers sometimes printed extraordinary headlines about unusual animals found in cities. There have been rare reports of small crocodiles or similar reptiles recovered from drainage systems or near water tunnels, often believed to be escaped or released pets. However, scientists and city officials repeatedly point out that the sewer environment is cold, lacks proper light, and does not provide suitable conditions for large reptiles to survive long-term. An actual breeding population would require warmth, stable food sources, and breeding conditions that the sewer system does not offer. Vanishing hitchhikers is one of the most recognizable urban legends, and researchers have discovered that it has appeared in many countries and in different cultural settings for hundreds of years. The story usually begins on a quiet or lonely road at night. A driver sees a hitchhiker standing by the side of the road and decides to stop and offer a ride. The hitchhiker is often described as a young woman who appears pale, sad, or dressed in older-style clothing. She may speak only a few words, often providing an address or a location where she wishes to be taken. The twist comes when the driver arrives at the destination and discovers that the hitchhiker has disappeared without the car ever stopping along the way. The driver might then speak to someone at the address or nearby and learn that the girl died years earlier, often in an accident near the place where she was picked up. Slender Man is a fictional character that first appeared in 2009 on the internet forum Something Awful. The character was created by a user named Victor Surge, who posted 2 black and white images of children playing outside. In these images, he inserted a tall, thin humanoid figure wearing a black suit and tie. The figure had no facial features, and its arms appeared unusually long, sometimes branching like tentacles. The text accompanying the images described the figure as responsible for the disappearance of the children. From this small beginning, internet users began adding their own stories, images, and videos, gradually turning Slender Man into a shared legend. He is said to appear near forest, abandoned buildings, or playgrounds. People who encounter him are reported to experience feelings of paranoia, nightmares, or memory loss. Some stories claim that prolonged exposure caused physical symptoms such as nosebleeds or fainting. Slender Man quickly moved beyond online forums. He inspired video games, art, and even movies with theatrical releases. And there was even a real-life case of a 12-year-old child luring her friend into a wooded area of a park in which she stabbed her friend 19 times in an attempt to sacrifice her to Slender Man. Polybius is a video game urban legend about a mysterious arcade game that allegedly appeared briefly in the early 1980s. According to the story, the game was a black arcade cabinet with unusual gameplay designed to cause extreme psychological effects. Players are said to have experienced addiction, seizures, hallucinations, amnesia, and other mental disturbances. Reports describe men in black, or government agents, collecting data from the machines, which adds a layer of mystery and suspicion. After a short period, the cabinets allegedly disappeared without explanation. The legend often includes claims of deaths or severe health problems among players. Investigators and scholars tracking this story find no verifiable evidence that such a game existed in the 1980s. The Hook story usually begins with a young couple spending time alone in a parked car at a quiet lover's lane. While they are talking, listening to music, or enjoying the evening, a radio broadcast interrupts with breaking news. The report warns that a violent patient has escaped from a nearby institution, and that he is armed with a hook where his hand once was. The couple reacts with fear and argues about whether to leave. In many versions, they drive away quickly, shaken by the experience. Later, they discover a hook attached to the car door, evidence that the attacker was close enough to reach them. Thank you very much for watching this video. And if you learned something, make sure to leave a like. Comment down below your thoughts on any of the urban legends I discussed in this video. And subscribe if you would like to see a part 2 or more videos like this one. Thank you again, and goodbye.